we will discuss about thalassemia. So the topics which we will be covering under thalassemia are both alpha and beta. We will cover the classification, pathogenesis, clinical features and the lab diagnosis. This will help you write the question also. So now let's first go to what are the hemoglobin types, then we will move to thalassemia. So types of hemoglobin in a human body, they are HbA, you have HbA2 and HbF. Okay, so most common, the most is 95% adult hemoglobin is HbA, and it contains 2 alpha chains and 2 beta chains. It is alpha 2 beta 2. Then you have another variety, that is HbA2. It contains alpha 2 delta 2. Okay, 2 alpha chains and 2 delta chains are present. This is present in very small quantity. Then you have HbF. HbF contains 2 alpha chains and 2 gamma chains. It is alpha 2 gamma 2. It is mostly seen in the fetus, and later on you will see it is seen in thalassemia major. Now going to the hemoglobinopathies, you have qualitative hemoglobinopathies, you have quantitative hemoglobinopathies. Qualitative is such hemoglobinopathy in which there is structure abnormality in the hemoglobin. Okay, there is no quantity which is reduced, there is structure is abnormal of the hemoglobin, like in sickle cell anemia. Then you have quantitative disorders, in which example, that is thalassemia, in which there is decreased globin chain synthesis. Now if you remember, hemoglobin is made up of two things, you have heme and you have globin. Okay, heme contains iron and globin contains, in the case of adult hemoglobin, mostly alpha 2 beta 2. So if there is decreased globin chains, okay, if its alpha is decreased or beta is decreased, that is thalassemia. So there is decreased globin chain synthesis in the thalassemia. Now what is thalassemia? The definition of thalassemia is decreased synthesis of globin chain, and that's why it is a quantitative disorder. Now going to the classification of thalassemia, you have two types of thalassemia, alpha thalassemia, beta thalassemia. In alpha thalassemia, there is reduced synthesis of alpha chain or absent. Okay, it can be absent, it can be reduced synthesis of alpha chain. That is alpha thalassemia. The gene for alpha thalassemia is present at 16 number chromosome. Then beta is absent or reduced synthesis of beta globin chain. This is present at chromosome number 11. So you have 16 and 11. 16 is for alpha and 11 is for beta. Then classification of alpha thalassemia, we will study this in detail. Here you should know that it is of 4 types. You have a silent carrier, then you have trait, then you have HbH disease, and then you have hydrops fetalis. And then going to the beta thalassemia. Beta thalassemia is of 3 types. You have beta thal major, intermediate, minor. So alpha beta thalassemia. So what is in beta thalassemia? There is absent or reduced production of the beta globin chain. Now globin chain, these are present on chromosome number 11. So what was HbA? HbA was alpha 2 beta 2. Now if the beta chain is reduced or absent, so there will be reduced HbA. Now you have to remember, if the beta is not there, alpha will bind with something. If the alpha binds with the gamma, it forms HbF. And if the alpha binds with the delta, it will find HbA2. So these two hemoglobins will increase in the beta thal. So what is the molecular pathogenesis? The genetics, there is point mutation on chromosome number 11, and this can be either splicing mutation, this can be chain terminator mutation, or this can be promoter region mutation. Now after the mutation, if we want to represent, so either the beta chain will be produced absent, okay, there will be no expression of the gene and no beta globin gene will be produced, or sometimes reduced is expression is there. So beta chain will produce, but it will be reduced in the quantity. Depending on that, there is classification of the beta thal. Now beta thal is further divided into major, intermediate and minor. In the major, the severity is higher. Okay, the patient will have severe anemia, the patient will get transfusions every 15 days, every month. Intermediate less severe, and beta thal minor is mostly asymptomatic and is detected only on screening, mostly during pregnancies. What is the genotype in the case of beta thal major? So it can be beta 0, beta naught, that means there is no production. Beta 0, beta plus, that means that one is absent and one is producing, reduced production is there. Now depending upon how much the expression is there, it can either go into the beta thal major and can go into beta thal minor, in intermedia. Okay, so if there is okay production of the beta chain, so it can go into intermedia. But if there is very reduced production of beta chain, it will go into major. And in minor, one gene is absolutely normal, it is a heterozygous condition. And according to that, the HB electrophoresis findings will also change. We will discuss that later on. Now, what is the pathogenesis? Now, there is a gene defect on chromosome number 11. The point mutation was taking place over here. Beta chain is not producing. Now, the alpha chain will bind to the gamma chain to form HbF. Otherwise, it will remain in the normoblast. It will cause the death of the normoblast and will cause anemia. When anemia will be there will be increase in the erythropoietin level. Erythropoietin will cause erythroid hyperplasia in the marrow. It will send the signal, the marrow, to produce more RBCs. So there will be erythroid hyperplasia. Now this hyperplasia not only takes place in the long bones, it will go into the flat bones also. So the skull, the face, they will also try to produce RBCs. That will lead to further clinical features. Then these patients require multiple transfusions, and because of this and the RBCs which are getting hemolyzed, there will be iron overload, and other features of iron overload will be seen. We will see that later on also. So what are the clinical features in case of thalassemia? So you will have anemia which is transfusion dependent, and because of hemolysis there is increase in the unconjugated bilirubin, that will lead to jaundice. Hepatosplenomegaly will be there because of RBC lysis also, extramedullary hematopoiesis also. Thalassemic phases and frontal bossing, this is very important. This is due to expansion of the erythroid marrow in the facial bones. So this is the thalassemic phases in which there is expansion of the facial bones, and frontal bossing because of extramedullary hematopoiesis in the skull. So this is due to marrow expansion. Okay, thalassemic phases as well as frontal bossing. Now some clinical features will be due to iron overload because of the hemolysis also, and because we are giving routine transfusion to the person. So patient will have cardiac complication in which cardiomyopathy will be there. Then liver complication, hepatic fibrosis, cirrhosis can be there due to iron deposition, and endocrine deposition in the pancreas. Iron can get deposited and can lead to diabetes mellitus also. Then going to the lab diagnosis in such a patient. So you first will go for PBF. So in PBF what you will see small cells. So RBCs will be very small, will be microcytic hypochromic anemia. It is a type of microcytic hypochromic anemia. And there is marked anisopoikilocytosis. Various shapes are seen, various sizes are seen. So anisopoikilocytosis. Then target cells can be seen. They are bullseye appearances seen. If you see over here, these are many target cells which can be seen in thalassemia. Then in any hemolytic anemia, NRBCs, polychromasia, increased reticulocyte count is always there. So this can also be seen over here because the bone marrow is active and is showing hyperplasia. This is erythroid hyperplasia features only, NRBCs, polychromasia. Then in the bone marrow what we will see erythroid hyperplasia, and because of that the ME ratio will fall. The ineffective erythropoiesis, because the marrow is making so much of RBCs, now it will make ineffective, it will be making this erythropoietic changes will be there. So the RBCs will be formed but they are not okay RBCs, they will have some abnormality, so this erythropoiesis is there. And increased iron store, if you do bone marrow, you do Pearl's Persian stain, so because of transfusions the iron stores will be increased. Then you can go for another test, that is osmotic fragility test. Osmotic fragility test, so you have to remember the RBCs in the case of thalassemia, they are decreased, there is decreased osmotic fragility. Okay, so if you see over here the graph has turned towards left, there is decreased osmotic fragility or increased resistance. That means the cells, the RBCs, are more resistant to breaking down. Okay, they will require the solution of NaCl had to be more weak so that they can burst open. So there is decreased osmotic fragility in the thalassemia in the osmotic fragility test. Then you have another test which is done for screening test, is the Nestrov test. This is now obsolete. What is Nestrov test? That is stands for naked eye single tube red cell osmotic fragility test. What you do is, in a test tube you take saline, you put blood and keep it around for 30 minutes, and then you keep a black line at the back and you can see the lines. So if you see over one test tube, another test tube, so one test tube of a normal patient and one test tube of a screening you have to keep. So what is a negative test? This is a normal person, it is a control. So what will happen if you put NaCl, then the RBCs in a normal person will break down faster than the breaking down in the thalassemia, because thalassemia, they are more resistant to breaking down. There is decreased osmotic fragility. So the black line will be visible in the case of control, that is normal patient, and will not be visible in the case of thalassemia. This was used as a screening test. So this is the Nestrov test. Then which test is done these days? That is HB electrophoresis. This is a very good test to do. So you will have normal, you have HbA, highest peak is there, but in case of thalassemia major, what will be there? There is increased HbF because alpha 2 gamma 2 this is formed, and there is slightly increased HbA2 also, but HbA level they fall down. On the skull X-ray, you have a typical appearance that is known as hair on end appearance or crook end appearance, which is seen on the X-ray. You can see over here. Then going to alpha thalassemia. So in alpha thalassemia, there is reduced production of alpha chains, and again there is reduced production of your HbA, because again alpha chain will not be there, then again there will be formation of HbA will be reduced. Now beta is there. Now it can either form tetramer beta 4, and either there can be formation of tetramer of gamma. So this happens in case of alpha thalassemia. So we'll study later on. What is the molecular pathogenesis? There is deletion of the genes on chromosome number 16. So this is deletion which is taking place over here. There it was point mutation. Now going to the classification, you have 4 types. One is the carrier, then trait, then you have HbH disease, and then you have hydrops fetalis, that is the most severe form. This is also severe but less severe, and these are almost asymptomatic. Now what happens in the case of alpha thalassemia? There is no production of alpha chain, then there will be either tetramer of beta formed or tetramer of gamma formed. Now the tetramer of beta, when they are formed, it is known as HbH disease. In HbH disease, you have deletion of 3 alpha chains, okay, and in case of tetramer of gamma 4, the hemoglobin which is formed is known as Hb Bards. This is the most severe form, which is also known as hydrops fetalis, and in this there is deletion of 4 genes of the alpha. Okay, all 4 genes of the alpha, they are deleted in the case of here beta 4 HPH disease, there is deletion of 3 genes. So if you see over here, in this the 3 genes are affected HBH, in this the whole 4 genes are affected. Because of HBH, this there is formation of a hemoglobin HB beta 4, and here there is formation of gamma 4. Now these two hemoglobins, they have very strong oxygen affinity. And so in Hydrops fetalis, what is there? It is the most dangerous form. In this HB Bart is formed, and then you will have, it has very high affinity for the oxygen. It gives no oxygen to the tissues, and these patients, they mostly die in utero, and there is IUT. Now there are two MCQs after these. I'll display these. You can read and attempt in the comment box and let me know your answers. This is the first MCQ, and then you have a second MCQ. Thank you.